Hello and welcome back to my channel. Now we are on week 3 of the quarantine and it has not been easy for anyone, including my family, of course. But with that said, our jobs are to help ourselves and to try our best to take care of others. So I would like to share with you a few things that have been keeping us afloat whenever we find ourselves worried or anxious or stir crazy while we're stuck at home during this crazy time in history. The first tool that I'm going to share is for managing children's behavior when they're starting to get a little bit out of sorts. It's totally expected that the kids are going to be acting up when they're out of their normal routine, or they're sensing your anxiety or the anxiety of the world around them. Kids are very sensitive. However, there's ways for you to set clear boundaries without having to constantly repeat the rules, repeat what's acceptable, what's not acceptable, and drive yourself crazy. The tool that's been working really great for us during this time is nonverbal communication. In my family, it looks like this. This means I've already answered that question, or I've already said no to that request. This means I'm starting to get very bothered by the choices that you're making. And this means you have 5 seconds to stop before there's a consequence. The second tool that I'd like to share with you is a comparison between the stages of what we're experiencing right now and the 4 stages of culture shock. When I was living abroad in Japan, I was taught about these 4 stages of culture shock. The awareness of these 4 stages, also known as the 4 H's, made it easier for me to cope as I became gradually more and more accustomed to my new surroundings and new lifestyle. Now, I'm not saying that being quarantined due to a global pandemic is anything like moving abroad to another country, but there are some similarities between the stages of how we adjust to a rapid and massive shift in our lifestyle. The first H, or the first stage, is for honeymoon. Now, it's nothing like a honeymoon to us right now, but it's the stage where we might feel uncomfortably confident in our ability to handle the brand new challenge that's being quickly thrown at us. In some families, it might look like, we can handle this. I can't believe how different this is going to be in comparison to what normal used to be. But it's okay because we got this. The second stage, or the second H, is for hostility. This is where we say, this lifestyle is so horrible. I do not want to adjust to this. It is impossible to find joy while we're living in this situation. The third stage is for humor. If you want examples of how to use humor, you just go on social media. It seems like humor is probably the most enjoyable way to start coping and adjusting to our current reality. And finally, the fourth H is for home. This is the place where we finally accept the present moment. This is where we've reached unconditional acceptance of the as is. There's no resistance to what's going on around us. We just focus on what we can control and we release the need to control anything else. Now, these 4 stages do not occur smoothly. It's a bumpy road with a lot of regression. But it is important to be able to identify the stage that you might be experiencing in order to remind yourself that your feelings are normal, this is a process, and it will not go on forever. Now, along with the topic of what we can control versus what we can't control, that brings us to the third tool. It is a family activity that revolves around the word help, and it was inspired by a quote that I love from the late and the great Mr. Rogers.
Because it's you I like.
When I was a boy and I would see scary things in the news, my mom would say to me, look for the helpers. You will always find people who are helping. So in this activity, you're going to take a piece of paper and divide it up into 3 separate sections. In the first section, you write how I can help myself. And this is where each person in your family can brainstorm different ways to take care of their thoughts and their feelings, ways to reground themselves whenever it's necessary or possible. In the second section, you can write how I can help the people in my family. Here, each person in your family will write ways that they can help or support each member of your immediate family or the people in your household. How can each person make the days flow with a bit more ease by thinking about the wants and the needs of the other people in their home? Finally, in the last section, write how we can help people outside of our house. And here, as a family unit, you can brainstorm ways to make a difference to other people in the world, if you're able to. So to recap, the 3 sanity-saving tips that I am sharing with you today are nonverbal communication as a behavior management strategy, referring to the 4 H's as a reminder that all of the feelings that you're experiencing are normal and also temporary, and a family activity to reflect on your self-care, family care, and a larger scale contribution if it is at all possible for you during this very difficult time. And if it's not possible, don't do it. Take care and stay healthy, my friends.